2016, I was diagnosed with clinical depression. When people ask me to describe depression, I would tear up. Because it was such a horrible time. Because I realized that the things I thought were important were not important. When depression hit, my awards, my job, houses, money, cars couldn't hold me. I felt that my spirit was calling me to something different. And it changed my life. Directly led to Chude.
Hello everyone, this is Pulse on the Record. My name is Elvis Christian, and I believe at this point I sound like a broken record, right? Because today's guest is someone who, I'm a very, very big fan of. Ladies and gentlemen, he is an author, a media entrepreneur. He is an interviewer, just like myself, if I like to say so. He is several things, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am with Chude.
I love that. That was slick.
It's Elvis. It's me. It's me.
Good to see you.
It's amazing to actually have a conversation. I had beef with you,
right? Yes.
From a distance.
Yes.
But we've hashed it out. Behind camera.
We'll sort it out.
But how are you doing?
First, I need sleep.
Right.
But also, I've been having so much fun. I always tell people that I don't like to pretend about what I like or what I don't like. And the goodwill, the support, the joy has just been incredible. Just been since January, since I posted that first photo shoot in January, it has just been goodwill upon goodwill upon goodwill.
Right, like you rightly said here. I feel like you've always been in our face. Like a right dose. We all have had a right dose of Chude, right?
Yes.
But this year is different.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been everywhere. You're on this, doing this. There's, a round table, like that's the beef.
That's the beef.
That's the beef.
Young people in media,
You've done a lot of things this year. Why is this year special?
Well, it's interesting. And it's something I want to share so that other younger people and other people can hear. So when I started my show, 2020, at the end of 2020, the show started in 2020. At the end of 2020, I was praying. And I heard something, I got an intuition in my spirit that I should go off the media. And then I had some important work to do. And I should go off the media and go off speaking engagements. Now, my show hadn't yet become successful then. It was airing, it had like moderate success, but it hadn't yet blown up. I hadn't yet really gotten anything that was viral. Apart from, say, a Thatcher interview and, say, a Erica interview. So this wasn't the time to be going off. And I also got this intuition to stop posting on social media, to go off social media.
Wow.
So I've not had the password to my social media account since January of 2021. So if those people that always go and lie that they hack their account. So I actually have a legitimate, excuse that if something happens, to say, I don't have my password though. So that happened, and then that was the year my show blew up. Because as I told people, I learned in my career that it's not activity that leads to, it's not over busyness. Just do the work you're supposed to do and let the world take care of the rest. So this was like a practical demonstration, And then the show blew up, and then when the show blew up, I believed what I had felt, that I really needed to cope. And thank God for that, because I feel like it would have been, I feel it's just something just weird about being in people's faces on my show every other week and month. I was very comfortable disappearing apart from my show. And I could have been comfortable doing it forever. But this year, again, in my spirit, last year, March was a very, very, very difficult period for me in terms of business goals. And again, I was praying and I had an intuition that all kinds of things. Anyway, something's about to happen now. And I felt a release to go and do interviews. I'm like, I don't want to do interviews. So I started saying yes to some speaking engagements here and there, especially out of Nigeria. And then I got convinced to do with Chude Live. And at the same time, I don't know, I think it came together. I'm like, it's also 20 years of Red Media Africa. It's also 15 years of WineNigeria.com. It's also 21 years of being in a business partnership with Adebola Williams. It's also 19 years of the Future Awards Africa. So there's all these things coming together. I'm like, okay, I'm going to celebrate. I'm proud of these things. I want to celebrate. And once I chose to celebrate, so it's something they say where I come from. If you declare peace, everybody should rest. But if you declare war, nobody should rest. So I said, okay, if you're going to celebrate, then we're going to celebrate. There's no need pretending not to celebrate. So I said, if you're going to do it, let's have a ball. Let's have another thing. I was going to do another one bed party for my birthday, like a real Ashoebi Gele party, like JP25 thing.
Real.
So Derele, my friend, asked me, so where will you be during the party?
Exactly.
Because I get emotionally exhausted very easily. So I thought about my life. I thought this party will exhaust me. I was like, you know what? Let's do it some other way. So that's what happened.
All right. So you've mentioned, XYZ years doing this, XYZ years, and everything is just like coming together at a perfect time.
Yeah.
And in my head, that's a lot of success, right? How, I don't know how to express this, right? What is like the engine room of this whole thing? Because it's a lot of things, because it's very easy to say, Elvis, I've been interviewing people for 20 years, right? Yeah. You have several businesses that have spanned decades at this point. So what do you think is that engine room?
The engine room is that I'm very good at building structure. I'm very good at, when I tell people that we have enough interviews, we're no longer shooting with Chude this year, because we have enough interviews till March next year. Oh, wow. And I'm talking 2 interviews a week. Edited, trailers done. It's not, so I'm never under pressure to release anything. And I'm not pushing trending topics. It's like all done. And so even as I'm doing my show, on my page, I'm only posting with Chude Live, which is the event coming up. But on the back end, on the website or YouTube, 2 episodes a week and continue. So I've always been great at building structure. I've always been great at the operational back end, I hate it because admin is horrible. Some people love it. Admin people love admin, but creative people hate admin. But I learned very early that if I wanted to build a successful business, I had to build structure. I also learned that if I didn't want to continue running businesses, I had to build structure fast. So when I was doing it, I thought I was mad, but I have not been CEO of Red Media since 2016, effectively. And Red Media Africa has been growing massively. And I'm not just talking growing by the terms of the world, I'm talking money growing. And the new CEO was an employee of the company, 10, 15 years ago. And so it makes all those, so what I'll do is once in a while, people will say they want to meet me, I would insist that they meet a team member. They will get offended. But I would say, but this is the person doing the work, Even now, the VVIPs that are coming for the event on Sunday, it's our COO calling them. She just came back from Texas. She's speaking Finnish. She doesn't know these people. But I'm like, no, but you build your own relationships with them. Because what if I'm not there? What if I'm ill? What if I leave this company? So from when I was very young, I knew that I didn't want to always be running a business as CEO. I also knew that you just need to build structure if it's going to be sustainable. And I suffered a lot to do it. Sometimes you lose a job because you refuse to do it yourself. Because you tell them, but there's an account manager and she's competent, or there's a COO and she knows her job. But now the fact that I can be getting the benefits of Red Media Africa, whynigeria.com is being run by my former assistant. He has been running it since we appointed him in 2021 or 2022. So that's the engine room. The engine room is people who have been given authority and trust in a well-developed structure that can survive whether I'm around or not. Yeah.
All right. So dating back to when you started, right? Because going around, it's very hard to actually find clips of you speaking online. Because many times when I'm trying to prepare myself for, an interview, I want to hear the person speak, how, they like to express themselves.
Yeah.
And one thing, I saw a clip where you spoke about the importance of ambition at a very early age.
Right.
Because it's something I personally resonate with. I feel everyone in this room right now can relate to that. I say it quite frequently.
Often,
I say things like, this is a stepping stone to somewhere else I would rather be. Yeah. And many a times, especially as a young person, it's looked at as oversabi. Do you get? Did you feel that kind of feedback?
I'm glad that I don't remember us speaking again, but I'm happy. One of the things I'm grateful to Gen Z for is they have made certain things that were useless taboos no longer taboo. So in some interviews I've done this week, I've said I was extremely ambitious as a child. Extremely. Now, I wasn't comfortable saying that when I was younger. I almost felt ashamed of it. Yeah. But I don't think there's nothing like So usually I'm unimpressed. If you enter my house, you will not see my awards, and I have a lot of awards. You will not see my awards on the table. You won't see it in the house. You won't see my certificates. Because I'm like, the things that I imagined for myself when I was a child, these things are not it. You know, like, when I get an Oscar, I put it in my living room.
I want an Emmy.
Exactly. So I was extremely ambitious, and there's nothing wrong with ambition.
Yeah.
The world has been changed for good by people who have ambition. It's what you use your ambition to do that matters, you know? So yes, I don't see anything wrong with ambition. I don't see anything wrong with agenda. I don't see anything wrong with being clear about what you want. And that's something that Gen Z has very much. Like, they don't pretend, they don't. So I don't think anybody should shame you or anybody of ambition, because we were born with ambition.
Right.
You know, one of my favorite spiritual teachers, a guy named Sadhguru, and he said, it is the innate nature of every human being is to grow, to do things, plants have it, animals have it. Babies have ambition. Babies want to stand, they want to walk, they don't stop until they will fall, they will stand up again. That's the foundation of human aspiration. So I've always been as a child, I imagined the world. I imagined myself speaking on big stages. I imagined commanding attention, you know. And I'm happy to live that life, because that's the point of being alive. Like, you know, I always write, in 60 years, I'll be gone.
Oh, please.
I'll be gone. So how can you ensure that the time you spend here, you do stuff, you know, and you live life? I think that's important.
So I'm talking about 60 years, you'll be gone.
Yes, I'll be 160 years.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to think about. I don't like to think
about
that far into my ambition. You know, reach that side. But I feel like also it's still 40, right? It's still very early to speak about legacy.
Yes.
Right. But what do you think it would be?
So, you know, this year has made me more comfortable talking about legacy. But first, I've always said, and I still believe, I don't care about my legacy. The reason is because you never know what your legacy will be. You never know.
Sure.
When MLK was in his 20s, he must have thought his legacy was in his religion.
True.
You know, one of the most important interviews I ever watched about legacy was Oprah, one of the best interviews that has ever been done in the world. Oprah and Maya Angelou. And Oprah was sharing a story where her school in South Africa, she set up a school, the Oprah Leadership Academy, I think. And then there was a scandal, and people were attacking her in the media. And Oprah was crying in the bathroom, according to her, to Maya Angelou, and thinking, they hate me, they're going to destroy my legacy. And she said, Maya Angelou said to her, shush!
Sounds like Maya.
You do not know
exactly
what your legacy is going to be. And I was just scandalized that Oprah thought her legacy was a school. Do you know how many TV hosts Oprah has inspired across the world? Oprah is also a spiritual leader. Like, when I was going through depression and I was learning about how to come out of it, it was Oprah introduced me to every single spiritual teacher that helped me. Wayne Diaz, Eckhart Tolle, Iyanla Vanzant, my spiritual godmother, all these people, Marianne Williams said, Oprah is a spiritual leader. I'm like, how could she think? So I've learned that thinking about your legacy can help you reduce the scope of what your legacy actually is.
True.
And you never know what your legacy is. That being said, I was walking into this place and I saw Chinedu Okafor, who works in Pulse here, who was at Y-Niger, who got his first job at Y-Niger. And if there was a legacy, it would be my ex-staff organized a birthday party for me this year. And these are like big guys from all over the place. Penza from Penzaville, you know, the editor, head of Meta Communication in Africa, you know, the CEO of Red Media, Edwin Okolo. All these guys came together and organized this birthday party. All I did was brought their monies together. And I was looking at the room and looking at them and thinking, first and foremost, I realized why I don't have children yet. Because I've been raising all these children over the past 20 years. And they have exhausted me. But secondly, I thought if there was a legacy, this would be it. You know, and I posted something that struck me. I was posting some of the messages they sent me. And it was a tough boss. So it's not even, and each of them ended with, I love you.
Oh.
I love you. I love you. This is stuff. Like, we didn't have any relationship apart from
work.
And I thought, whoa, what's a legacy? You know, so if there was a legacy, that would be it. But you never know. In 60 years, I might have a different type of legacy.
Exactly.
I'll just keep doing and let history take care of itself.
Right. Love that. Because I saw videos, right?
Yeah.
Also wasn't invited for a party, but
sorry.
No, but I'm kidding. But I saw videos and I saw like individual clips of people sharing what felt like testimonials and all of that. And I feel like at a certain point, it's very important. Community is it's a strong enough legacy.
Yeah.
And that's what I think most people tend to underestimate, right? They have the ability to feel like there are people that are ready to plan a surprise birthday party.
I was deeply honored by it.
It's my friends have never surprised me at a birthday party, but hey, let's not wash dirty linen in public. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So going back to mental health, because I see you speak a lot, you have very strong ties to religion, spirituality, you understand. Even you in another speaking engagement, you said depression saved your life. In the sentence is pretty much an absurd statement, blanket like that. So what is the context behind that?
Okay, so two things. First is, yes, I deliberately speak about mental health in Nigeria because very few public figures vulnerably do.
Sure.
They gloss over it, And my life has been changed by people who spoke honestly about their own lives. And I understand why people don't do it. Nigeria is a tough place to be weak. It's a tough place to be vulnerable. It's a tough place to need help. So people don't want people to see them finish, like we say. But I think I have the courage to do that, and I think somebody has to do that. So I've offered myself to do that. The second thing is faith. Nigeria is a very religious country, but one of my favorite researchers, Bernie Brown, differentiates faith from spirituality, from religion. Says religion without wonder is politics. The true religion with wonder is faith. And we don't talk a lot about that wonder, that excitement of faith. We talk about you're sinning and you're going to go to hell if you don't believe in what I'm believing in, and you should die. And I'm a religious person. I go to church every Sunday. I'm not just a spiritual person. I'm a religious person. I am a church worker. I do all of those things while still believing that people don't have to be Christian, or they don't have to practice Christianity the way I do, or that we all have godness in and around us, irrespective of how we choose to express it. So again, that's not something that you often see in the Nigerian space. And I think that people like me who live that need to create the space for other people to be courageous enough to say that. So that's why I speak openly about that. And I hope it inspires more people to come out and do that. 2016, so the speech was from my book, How Depression Saved My Life, is the title of my book, coming out from Narrative Landscape in September, I think. And I'm doing so that's another reason people should come for my event, because I'm doing a sneak peek reading, the first reading from the book with an orchestra and all of that at the event. So
okay.
I'm looking forward
production.
to it.
Let's go.
2016, I was diagnosed with clinical depression. For 3 months, I dealt with depression. And it changed my life. Directly led to Chude, because I quit my job as CEO of Red Media. I felt that my spirit was calling me to something different. I felt that there was something. There's no other way to say it. I just felt that there was something I was going to do in the world, and that this experience had opened me up to that. I no longer cared about the things people cared about. I no longer even wanted to be in the media. That is comfortable for me to not do interviews for this many years, because actually I thought I was going to go away from the media. I'd applied for my PhD in America. I was going to go and study. My research proposal was centered on the life of Jesus Christ. I just wanted to go and live a quiet life as a university lecturer or something. Because after depression, because I realized that the things I thought were important were not important. When depression hit, my awards, my job, houses, money, cars couldn't hold me. Not that they are bad. But they were not good for the things that mattered most, which is joy and love and trust and community and all of these things. And so I wanted to pattern my life around the things I had learned. I also wanted to share the good news with other people. Like, look, you can live a joyful life. You can both make money and be joyful. You can both love and create.
You don't have to sacrifice one for the other.
You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. And if you had to sacrifice one for the other, I'd rather sacrifice this than this. So I wanted to share that. And I kept, for about 3 years in the wilderness, I kept thinking about the best way to do this. And I think from 2016 to around to where my show launched, between then I decided that the best way to do it is with my show. We share other people's stories. But that's where it came from. And I've glossed over the depression, but anybody that has been depressed, and for years I didn't like to talk about it. When people ask me to describe depression, I would tear up. Because it's such a horrible time, horrendous time. And it's horrendous because you think it will never end. And for some people, it doesn't end. or it comes and goes and comes and goes. So yeah, but I did find a way out of it, and I did find a way. I saw a therapist. I was put on medication, but I was put off medication because the medication began to induce suicidal thoughts, which is what some depression and medicine does. Some medicine for anxiety, I think. It depends. There's a way. Different people have different reactions to it.
Yeah.
So I got off the drugs, and then my doctor told me that she realized that I was learning and practicing things that would help me, and she didn't think I needed therapy anymore. She thought I could continue this journey by myself. And some of those things were meditation, or as I do meditative prayer. And some of those things were gratitude journaling, which I do every day. Every day I wake up, I write. Every day I wake up, I write 10 things I'm grateful for. And they're often things money cannot buy. Like, I'm often grateful for my team members. I'm often grateful for waterfronts. I'm often grateful for flowers and trees. And the man that has been insisting that I buy weed when I'm doing my daily walk in the morning. I'm telling you the things I'm grateful for. Yeah. So I learned so much, and I want to tell as many people as possible.
All right.
Especially in this country where there's so much silence and there's so many taboos.
So that's very profound, actually. So let's move towards Africa's biggest talk concert. As that let's light up the atmosphere, right? So what informed the need? Because we've seen talk concerts. We like to. Well, it's one thing we like to do in this country, where once people are on a stage and there's a microphone in their hand, talk concerts, right? So what informs this one?
So, I've always been an ambitious person, like I said. I mean, less and less as the years go by, but there's still ambition inside. So 2020, just before COVID, Oprah. So I've seen Oprah do, and I've attended some of these things across the world. I've seen Oprah do her tours as a talk host. And she's done Australia, she's done America, she's done the UK. She's done the Vision 2020 tour, she's done Oprah's Masterclass, she's done Oprah's Live Class. And those things are just beautiful. Like you have TD Jakes, she'll have Joel Osteen, she'll have Elizabeth Gilbert, Rob Bell. And I've followed, there's a spiritual teacher called Rob Bell. Incredible guy. And I've gone around his tours from America to the UK, Birmingham, London. You just have this small event where his poetry, spoken word, he's reading from his book. It's stunning. And so I've always enjoyed that. But I never actually thought I would do it. Well, just before COVID hit, Oprah did something called the Vision 2020 tour. And she had Michelle Obama on stage, and she had The Rock, and she had Lady Gaga.
Oh, different fields.
Yes, and it was just like, I think there was 5,000 people in the hall. Then Oprah was on stage. It was gorgeous. So I said, I want to do this. I said, I want to do this in Nigeria. Why do we always have to go to America? Why do you have to go for these experiences? And it was planned, but again, I never do anything these days unless I feel release in my spirit. So I said, when it's time to do it, I will know. And so last year, I was just passing by that grade. I was passing by a billboard or something. And this was how it started. I said, what if I invited her? I don't know what we were talking about. I think we're talking about last year was when Oprah released the film with Taraji P. Henson and all of that. Was it Purple?
Oh, the color purple.
I think. And I think it was something else. What if I invited Taraji P. Henson for an interview in Nigeria? And we just filled out and had these kinds of, because she was talking about being depressed, and we had these kind of conversations, and everybody loved it.
I remember the media
round. I think that was where it was. But later on, I thought, why am I inviting Taraji? I love Taraji.
Yeah.
Why am I inviting Taraji? We have icons here, and I thought it would be more powerful. Again, it would be that thing of it's Oyibo people that can be vulnerable, it's Oyibo people that can be authentic. I'm like, no. As I said, I was going to do this in Nigeria. So I got that release, and I discussed with my people. And then after that, I came up with a guest list of like, and I said, what if I actually just told my designer, Victor, the fourth canvas of my designers, Victor Fatami is the head of that. And I said, you know what, Victor, I have this idea. Design me the flyer.
Oh.
That's what I did. I said, put these people on the flyer. And I just sent it to my friends. And so what if I did this event next year? Oh. And everybody was like, whoa. And so I knew, okay, that's where the idea came from. I went to create that magical experience here at home. We deserve it. Yeah, we are hustling. This one is politics. This one is closing down this state. This one is defecting to this. And that is okay. Yeah. But there's a place in our spirits that is calm and gentle and beautiful. And we should blow that up as well. And that's what I wanted to do. That's what made me And I can't believe that it's actually happening. Yeah.
I mean, I can't actually say I'm proud of you.
But you can't.
Yeah, but I am in some sort of way, because it just feels,
you.
When someone who is doing something similar to you then does something that groundbreaking, it just, there's some sort of like feeling of, this is nice to witness.
That's amazing to hear, because one of the reasons, I think that one of my driving missions is to make journalism sexy again.
Yes, please.
Just to make it sexy again. And there's so many people who have brands, and I'm like, why are you not doing live shows yet?
True.
And so I hope deeply that the success, so I always say to people, and I mean it, like they should join me to make this a success, because I know that just like with Chude, the show, the podcast inspired so many other podcasts. I know that when we succeed at this, more will be happening, and hopefully more, not just in Lagos, but in Enugu and in Ibadan, and all of those things. So you're right. This is I've never said no to mass communication people whenever they invite me to speak at their events. Apart from the past 4 years, but before and now that I've started speaking, I never said no, and that's because young journalists, young storytellers, young media creators, young content creators, they excite me. So I hope that I can inspire. So when you say this, I'm excited because that's exactly, when they see how big this can be, it will make them realize that this is a career worth pursuing.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, because I do feel like sometimes, because I do have like some bouts of, time thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so what am I doing?
What's the end? Where is this
exactly,
going
where
to?
am I headed towards? Should I just pick up a graduate trainee and just hop into the bank, right? So it just, things like this just make you feel like, okay, there's a bigger picture somewhere. Ambition that has been realized, it just makes everything, believable. Right, so I've been seeing, I went through your social media, I've seen you carry placards, and I'm saying PR, like these people are stressing this man out. But I'm like, you're not dancing, so like that's the missing dance.
So first of all, I did dance for my birthday. I did a lot of dancing for my birthday. And so after the dance, I just thought this is not cliche. Like, let's do other things. I want to have fun. So no matter what happens on Sunday, and it will succeed.
Yeah, definitely.
No matter what happens on Sunday, I've had so much fun doing this. And that is very important to me. You have to enjoy the process. It's as important as the end result. And so that's literally what happened. They told me they actually bought scripts. They bought ideas to dance. And just like
transition.
We've already done it. Yes, all those things. And actually, I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to doing a transition video. But something happened. I'm just like, too many clothes. I've won more clothes since January than I've won since 2017. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I'm just like, we're going to buy a new set of clothes for this transition.
Yes. Imagine my shock when I realized that these influencers and creators actually have to get these clothes. So I'm learning. I'm a very quick study. So I've learned a lot. But even when they are renting the clothes, and they're not, it's still a lot of money. Yes, it's not cheap. The lifestyle cost.
No. I choose to do it a different way. But I didn't want to dance because I danced during my birthday. I thought I want to enjoy it as much. It's fine. I thought I want to enjoy it as much. So we did that. But they put me on the road, but I had fun doing it.
Yeah, I saw the picture on the road. This is me promoting. It's nice to see. It's nice to see. Because each time we see you, you're seated down, having a conversation, almost feels like therapy.
Yes, it is therapy for me.
It is, definitely. Yeah. So it's nice to see, the playful side of Chude, right? So just to wrap it up, I don't want to ask what next, because I feel like you've answered that already, but what would you experience as a person, right? And you would feel like, oh, I think I've peaked.
Oof. First and foremost, I don't ever think I'll get there. Or at the very least, I pray not to get there. My role models my actual role models are in their 90s, 80s, or dead.
Oh.
Apart from Oprah.
Thank God.
Long may she live. I said, my hashtag for this celebration is Oprah's first son. And there are often people that are having a ball in their 90s. Warren Buffett is one of my all-time role models. And he's at 80-something, he's having a ball. He's sitting over AGMs, he's going to the office, he's eating burgers. And you can see that every day he's excited about life. And I want to be like that. I want to be excited about life when I'm 80 and 90 and be wishing for 100 and be, you know. So I hope I never get to a point where I think I have peaked. But also, my life has always followed. If you asked me 6 years ago, if I'd be here talking about a life show, I would have thought you were completely joking.
Sure.
So opening myself up to life has taken me in the most beautiful places that I didn't plan. So I think that I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep opening myself up to be surprised by life and to enjoy it. But if I have a vision, which I do, I want to build an army of independent storytellers across Africa, or at least across sub-Saharan Africa. I really love West Africa. My favorite country is Accra. My second favorite country is Senegal, apart from my country, of course. So,
because I was waiting for
and I want people who are telling stories in Enugu. One of my favorite content creators, a guy called Cruise with Joe.
I know Cruise with Joe.
He's in Owerri. I had to fly him to Lagos to come and do my show because I was so proud of him. My favorite content creator is Lenungungi from Kenya. You know, there's the guy. There's such these incredible guys. I want those young people who they want to stay in Ouagadougou. They want to stay in Cape Town. They want to stay in Taraba. I want to tell stories. I want to build an army of them. I want to help them tell those stories. They don't need to leave, you know, except they're going to travel or for holidays.
Yeah.
I want to build, I love telling stories from Nigeria. So for 5 years, I've had people from outside the country want to be on the show, but I'm like, I want to interview Nigerians. I'm not even finished. I've not talked to Bonner. I've not talked to Whiskey. You know, it's not yet time for these people. I want to find people like me. And I'm going to be doing it from next month. We begin a tour. From the month after the event, we're off to Senegal, we're off to Kenya.
It's a busy year for you.
Yes, really a busy year for me. And so that's what my vision for myself is. But I'm open and excited to be surprised by God and to be surprised by life.
All right. It's been an amazing conversation.
Thank you. I hope so.
When I got the email, I was very excited, right? So it's so nice to meet you, per usual.
Well done. All right. You're great at what you do. I don't think anybody needs to tell you. I think you know. I think you can
clip this part.
He can pretend to be like, but you know. I think you woke up this morning and you know.
I'm not humble. I'm not a humble person.
Good for you.
I mean, there's humility.
There's not yes, but you know what you have.
And
you know where you are going.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Good to meet you.
All right, guys. I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.